Hello class, I wanted to reach out and give you some support with Unit 1 discussion, the Reconstruction Mixer Roleplay. A few students asked if they could have a couple of extra days. I wanted to take the opportunity to say yes, and also I wanted to go over a couple of clarifying points. This may help you if you have already turned in your paper because you may go back in and you may update your assignment. If you choose to update your assignment or if you still need to post, I'm going to refer you back to the directions and then walk you through a couple of clarifying points. First of all, there's a due date and an end date. Your due date is always for your initial post and the end date is for your replies. What you'll see in the instructions is an overview and then a step-by-step task or task list. So what I recommend is yes, read this overview, but then read the task list, and then you can go back and read the overview once more. That should help you. I'll boil this down to some simple terms. You are choosing a character. This is the setting. There's a link for your primary sources that you can use. You're choosing a character that's hyperlinked here, and you're going to read a primary source document associated with your character, again referencing the primary source documents. You'll see the hyperlink comes up for these documents. So let me go back. You're choosing a character, you're using primary sources, and then you're going to read those primary sources. So we're here in step 2. So what are you writing? That's in step 3. You're introducing your character and you're essentially giving a pitch, like a sales pitch, and your sales pitch is for the cause of the character. So the first thing you have to do to even know what the cause is to read the primary source documents and read about your character. Once you know what they're advocating for, then you can write as if you are them. So you are writing 2 to 3 paragraphs. It gives you here an example of how to introduce yourself. There's some sentence starters or ideas for how to write your follow-up sentences. There's some clarifying thoughts here about focusing on post-Civil War advocacy. So, in other words, these people are fighting for something, debating something. They're advocating for something post-Civil War, not before the Civil War. So be careful that you focus on the correct time period. And here are some questions that you can answer. Then you're going to reply. Again, the due date is when your initial post is due, and the replies are when and then the end date is when your replies are due. You're going to reply to at least 2 other posts. You do not reply to anyone who has your same character. Do not reply to anyone that has your same character. Here are some thoughts for how to have a proper response. You will not say good job because this is supposed to be a meaningful discourse. And there are some examples about what would be a proper reply. You're going to consider what those characters might do or say that is not already included. You would extend the conversation by asking questions or making connections. So you're making connections or asking questions, and there's lots of examples here. I know the instructions are pretty long. However, if you take your time and go through this step by step, you'll be more successful in the grade. And I caution you that if you've already done the assignment and you haven't performed it in this way, then you want to go back and make some edits. Here's how you're going to be graded. So you can self-reflect and even kind of grade yourself and see how well you think you're going to do. This discussion board is not a typical discussion board that you would have in other classes where you can kind of wing it on the night before it's due and write a couple of hundred words without really going in depth to understand the assignment. The discussion boards in this class, there's not a lot of them, but the ones that you have, they weigh pretty heavily, and they're really more full-length assignments. I have one last recommendation for you. I recommend copying all of these instructions, pasting them into a Word document, and then as you complete the requirements, you can delete that part of the instructions. Because you have deleted it, and you know you've done that part of the instructions before you deleted it, because you've done that, you will know that you've 100% met all of the criteria for that particular assignment. Once everything's deleted, you know that you've completed everything 100%. Then you can copy and paste your finalized written reply into, or your post, into the discussion board. It's very important that you take your time with these discussion boards because these are some of the key assignments in this course. Let's go to the schedule and look and see how this plays out. You'll see there's this discussion board that we're working on now, and then there's one in Unit 4. It's very important that you focus heavily on these two assignments because they do impact your grade greatly. One thing you'll notice is I've removed quizzes 1, 2, and 3, and that's because I really want you to focus on the quality of the assignments themselves. So you have your map analysis plus your timeline, you have your editorial assignment, and then your Unit 4 discussion, all due within the next 30 days. So you'll complete these very robust assignments, and then you'll start with your quizzes in Unit 4. After Unit 4, you'll notice that you have an essay. This is another major requirement, and also it's required to pass the course. Really, all of these major assignments, like the essay and these two discussion boards, are required because if you don't do one of these, you probably won't pass the class. I never have anyone not pass this class unless they just absolutely do not turn anything in. I know these assignments can be pretty scary because they're very, very comprehensive, but I promise you, if you do any amount of work, that's better than getting a 0. I honestly never ever have anyone complete work and still fail. So if you want to pass this class and you want to get credit for it, just turn in some work. Don't let the assignment instructions scare you. Completing these types of assignments, especially when you're writing a great deal, it's an exercise in learning how to do that, and the more you write, the better you get. The more feedback you get, the better you get. So no one expects you to come in and be able to write perfectly the first time. You'll notice that as you get into Unit 5, you complete your essay and quiz. Then Unit 6 is only a quiz. That's because we're getting near to the end of the class. There's also a final project. Final project part 1 is your brainstorming where you come up with your topic. This is fairly low level as far as an intensity. And then you have your final project. Because this is a short-term class, this does move quickly. Again, that's why I've removed the first 3 quizzes, because I do believe that it's important that you pace your time to be able to complete each of these assignments. Again, please turn something in. Please do not take a 0. I hope this has helped. I will go back and show you the due date for discussion board 1 that I've extended. And again, you can go back and repost if you need to, or edit. That's perfectly fine. Let's see if I can get it to load. There we go. Alright, so we're still in Unit 1. And you'll see here that I've extended the original post to the 18th, and then you have until the 20th to post your replies. Everyone have a great weekend. Thank you.